Hello there, Mavericks. This is Rob Reinhold. It is April 4th, start of the fourth month of the year. So let's jump into it. Great trading across the board. Let's take a look at the news first. We heard from the RBA last night. They kept rates steady at 3.6%, and the Aussie dollar was the weakest currency because of it. We also got the US JOLTS job openings report. This is a very rarely looked at report, but since the Fed last fall said we're watching this to see weakness, the market's been hyper-fixated on it. It was the lowest job openings report in the last 2 years. So this is two news reports this week. We had ISM that was very weak, JOLTS that was weak, really showing that this economy is weakening, which, remember, that's what the Fed wants to see. The market is worried that the Fed overdid it, and then it's going to kill the economy. But you can see here on the charts, everything still looks pretty good. The numbers today, the SPX was down about 0.5%, the VT down 0.5%. So we did get a sell-off. Crypto stayed strong, which we loved. Gold, we called for a nice breakout above 2,000. We're getting that. And the oil markets continued to move up after the OPEC Plus supply cut announced over the weekend. So if we take a look here at the charts, and let's just really be totally focused on the charts here. You can see here that we have a bearish engulfing candle. Overall, we have a bullish market. We broke out above the 50, above the 20. Everything's looking good. We've now reached a point where we probably have a pullback in store here. Again, a bearish engulfing candle is going to signal the potential end of this little run. We could pull all the way back down to like 40.60, 40.70 on the S&P, somewhere in here. So we could still see a little bit more down, and I think that's what we're going to get for the rest of this week. Take a look at the VT World Index, same thing. We probably pull back down to the 20-period moving average. So 1 or 2 more days of selling likely in equities. However, cryptos said, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. And you can see here, we are knocking on the door. This is the crypto basket. We already got breakouts from Ethereum, which we were long in. So that's a great move there. But Ethereum and Bitcoin are doing much better than the rest of the cryptos. So let's take a look at the actual daily return here. As you can see here, Ethereum was a superstar. This is the one we liked the best at the beginning of the week, and it has absolutely performed the best. Bitcoin, 1.38%, and you can see everything else is not getting the money. Stay in the leaders right now. Bitcoin and Ethereum is the place to be in crypto. In the Forex market, you can see that the Aussie was a big loser. That is from the RBA announcement. Tonight, we are going to hear from the RBNZ. We could see the same kind of move up or down in the Kiwi over the next 24 hours. We will be watching that report when it comes out tonight. We have been very bullish on the European currencies, specifically the pound and the euro. And you can see the pound and euro did okay today. Swiss franc was the best performer. It's not our favorites of the European currencies, but we called for the drifting lower dollar. That's continued to do that. And the yen is an interesting one today because we had a risk-off day in equities. Typically, we see the Japanese yen jump on risk-off days. We saw it sell off. So I'm really watching this yen. I really like yen short here, but I like it better short when the market's going up than when it's going down. So I like dollar short when the market's going down. I like yen short when the market's going higher here. So to break down our score here, we've got a plus 1.5 on our market outlook for equities. So we think it's still a generally upward bullish market, but we're definitely reaching the top of a range. We're probably going to get a couple of days of a pullback. If we take a look and see what's left on the schedule this week, we heard from the RBA, but tonight we've got the RBNZ. Estimates are that they're going to raise 0.25%. That's pretty much baked in the cake here. The question is, do they hint to more, or do they do what the RBA did and back off? If they back off hard, then I think you can expect the Kiwi to actually drop about the same as the Aussie did last night. Tomorrow morning, we have ISM services out of the US. Thursday morning, we've got Canadian employment report. And Friday, I think this is going to be a big one. Equity markets are all closed, so FX is going to be the only place to play. We got the US non-farm payrolls report at 8:30 a.m. We will be meeting live as a firm to trade that report together. Let's take a look at currencies over the next 24 hours and give them. We're going to start out here with Bitcoin. If we take a look at a daily chart on Bitcoin, we can see it is still in this high base. So we have not broken out of the high base yet. If we come in here to the 4-hour chart, we can see that Bitcoin is not ready to buy yet. It's not ready to buy. We've talked about there's two ways to trade high bases. You can buy the bottom of the range, which is going to be if we get a pullback down here below 27,000 and bounce. That could be a nice long. Or you have to wait till a breakout of, 28,800 or 29,000, somewhere around there for a breakout. So Bitcoin's not ready yet. You can see Bitcoin Cash, it's not doing anything either. But let's check in on the currency that is doing something. This is Ethereum. We have a nice clear breakout. So this, I really like to buy these breakouts, and I really like to pyramid on them, meaning if Ethereum can continue to go higher, I'm ready to buy more. And I'm just going to pyramid into it until I get a nice position. The whole time I'm raising my stop up to lock in at least break even or better. Litecoin, not really doing anything. So when we take a look at all the cryptocurrencies, Ethereum is the only buy right here, right now. Coming over here to Forex, we got the dollar. The dollar has everything saying it's going lower. We have the EMA lower. We have parabolic SARS lower. We have RSI bottomed out right around 35, but definitely in the lower quadrant. I think you can be short on dollar. That being said, we don't like to just short with no chart setup. We want to see like little rallies. So any little rally in the dollar we see should be shorted. Take a look at this over the last couple of months. Any rally in dollar is a great short opportunity. So let's just take advantage of this. Let's be patient. If the dollar jumps up, then I think you definitely want to be short. The other one I'm very interested in is the yen. The yen technically should have had an update today. You can see we had a little bit of jump here, but for the most part, everything's still very bearish here on the yen. However, I do not want to be short yen unless it is a risk on move, and I don't think we're going to get that in the equity markets. So I'm just going to be watching yen. I'm not looking to place any trades actively on the yen. Let's jump to Swiss franc here. It was the best performing currency of the day, and you can see we had a nice move, but we have not broken out of any significant resistance areas. I am not all that interested in Swiss franc for this reason. Let's see if we can find something a little bit better. Moving here to the euro. Okay, so the euro, we have a little bit better chart pattern. You can see that we have broken out into new ranges, but we're now up into another range here. So euro here is in the middle of its range. I still like it on the long side, but the question is it my favorite? Let's go check in on the pound, because the pound is my favorite. You can see here the pound is breaking to new highs. We're having a pullback. Hey, we love this. We love breakout to new highs and then buying the pullbacks. We have no idea where this pullback is going to go. Our best guess at this point is going to be prior resistance, which is right around 152.40. We don't know if it's going to bounce there. Let's let it come down here. If it bounces and we get a couple green candles, I'm ready to go back into pound. So pound is my favorite long Forex trade here over the next 24 hours. The CAD had a good run, but you can see here, we're starting to see some bearish action here. We're starting to see us turn down. EMA is turning down, parabolic SAR, RSI. So we're getting negative movement here. The CAD over the next 24 hours looks even weaker than the dollar. The only thing that's going to look weaker than that is going to be the Aussie. And frankly, look, the Aussie simply gave up what it gained the first couple of candles of the week. So we're not back into any sort of big trend here. We're just back into this range. I don't really love Aussie here for a short. Which brings us to the Kiwi. You can see the Kiwi is actually in a range bound as well. And we're now probably closer to the top than the bottom. But we have major news coming out on RBNZ. I will not be making any trade on Kiwi until we see the news out of the RBNZ. When we rank all of our currencies, we can see that the pound and Ethereum are ready to go on the long side right now. Those are the only two that are ready to trade now. And you can see on the short side, we have CAD and dollar are my favorite shorts. So let's take a look at them on the charts here to see if we can find any potential trades over the next 24 hours. I'm going to be starting where my relative strength said to start, which is at pound CAD. So pound CAD here. We've got this nice chart here. Let's see if we can break down this chart. First thing I'm looking at is I'm seeing a little bit of a bull flag. So bull flag is when you have a big run and then you have a really, really shallow downtrend. And the trigger is when it breaks out of the top of the range. So I like this. We now have a higher high than the previous high. We could have a little pullback here. We spent a lot of energy on these last three candles, a lot of energy. We expect there to be a pullback or a base here. I'm looking at a buy price of 168.20. 168.20 if it's a high base. If it's a high base, I want to be a buyer if it breaks out of this candle here. If it ends up being a pullback, it could pull all the way back to this trend line. I'll just have to take a look at it to see. But on the long side, on a high base breakout, 168.20 is going to be the place to enter in pound CAD. Let's take a look at euro dollar. So again, I'm taking my favorite pound against my favorite short CAD. Now I'm going to take my second favorite long against my second favorite short. As you can see here, euro dollar, we have broken out of some pretty serious resistance, and we are holding these levels here. When we broke out of this 109.30, you can see we've got three candles now that are clearly above this range. I like this trade quite a bit here. The only question is timing. When do I get in? When is the right time? We've broken out. Could we have a pullback? Of course. This is where I love scaling in. Take a third of a position now. Take a third of a position if we pull back, and then take a third of a position on a breakout of 109.80. This is where, again, you are on the right direction. We don't know the perfect timing to get into it. That's the hardest thing about the trade. So instead of trying to get the exact perfect time, we just scale in a little bit at a time, let this thing develop. And if it doesn't strengthen, get out with a small loss, break even, whatever it is. But if it does, we're going to be able to scale in to where we can get into a good position here. So I like euro dollar right here with a small position, and then we can build on that as it moves higher. This is a very good trading environment right now, so we like to be more active in good trading environments and less active in bad ones. So this is where you need to know when to be in the driver's seat. This is a good market. These are good market conditions, so make some trades, do some breakouts, take some pullbacks or rallies. Other times, we want to trade a lot less. This is not one of those times. Good trading environment. Do not forget RBNZ tonight. Anyone trading Kiwi, be aware of that. We don't want to be caught off guard. Thanks for joining me. That is the Currency Recap. Goodbye, everyone.